Hello, P4790 here, or Cyrus, and this is a video response to Lots of Games Top 10 PS3 Games. Now, I wasn't sure what I was going to do for my next video because I'm feeling pretty pumped and excited right now. And that's mostly, well, all of it is mostly due to this. That's right, Tales of Xillia is getting a confirmation that it's getting released to North America and Europe next year. Yeah! My face was absolutely glowing with excitement that day. I literally spent the whole day listening to Tales of Xillia opening. So I wasn't really sure what kind of video I would do next to, reflect that. Until I saw Lots of Games Top 10 PS3 Games. So I thought, why not do a video response? But no, this is be a bit different because I'm going to limit it to 5 games. Last time I did 10 games? That took quite a bit of time. Yeah, that video was like an hour. So I'm going to try to compress it a little with 5 games. Note that remakes of games from previous generations such as Ico and Shadow Colossus collection won't count in this top 5 PS3 games. But enough of me rambling on, let's get down to this top 5 PS3 games video.
If there is any chance of finding her, I can face any danger.
At number 5 is Folklore. This game was great when I played through it first. The art style was fantastic. I really liked the comic style cutscenes, though I wish it might have got a bit more voice acting in it. And the characters were great. I really liked Keats. And the story was great and was very suspenseful. It really hooked me on to find out who the killer was. The combat system was pretty good. Collecting each folk was part of the fun for me since each folk got their own unique powers. But not only that, each folk operated differently with the characters you use, just as Elliot. If you were to use her folks, then she would be more of a range combatant, while Keith is more in your face melee type. So yeah, I really like how each character got their own unique playstyle even though they're using the same type of folks in the game. Music was great as well. And if someone were to go up to me and ask me what's the one flaw about the game, it's the dungeon design. And the dungeons themselves aren't bad, just that they're reused a lot when you're playing through Elliot and Keith's chapters back and forth. Like chapter 1 Keith's and Elliot chapter, same dungeon. Chapter 2, same dungeon. Chapter 3, same dungeon. So it's not bad if you play through Elliot's chapter all the way through to the end, then starts on Keats. But if you're playing back and forth, it can get a bit repetitive. But besides that, it's a great game that I would recommend to PS3 gamers that looking for a unique game. Though on the side note, I kind of found it a bit sad that the developer of this game, Game Republic, got closed down because I really would have liked a sequel to this game. So yeah, it's a game I would totally recommend gamers to get if they can find it.
Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness and prevailed.
At number 4 is Dragon Age Origins. Now, Dragon Age Origins is a great game. Even though it's not the most original game out there, what it does very well. The story is pretty good and very well presented, and the lore is great and really feel like it's an actual world. Though the story itself can feel a bit formulaic if you've been playing other BioWare games, as it does follow the usual BioWare format in that you go to 4 different areas and gather allies to go defeat the main enemy in the game. It's really only noticeable if you've been like playing BioWare games back and forth. But even with that issue, it's still a very good story. And the ending is great and pretty conclusive. Though and it has multiple endings as well, so there's some replay value in it. That and the customization give it replay value as well. Though the ending might be a bit iffy if you're going from this one particular ending to the awakening. People who play the game will know what I mean, so yeah. But the story overall is pretty good and characters are great. And customization is fantastic. There's tons of customization in this game. You can customize what weapon your unit is going to use, well, to a certain degree that each class allows. What armor they wear, what skill you get them to learn, which are pretty unique from each other. What talents they use. There's just so much customization in the game, and customization is a really big part of why I found Dragon Age Origins so much fun. And I really like how Origin Story kinda made choosing each race unique in a sense, as if you pick a certain race belonging to certain factions, like the elf from a commoner elf or from Dalish, their intro arc is very different from each other. And even though it doesn't really change much in overall story, it's still nice to see these little changes in how the NPC react to you based on your race and based on your affiliations with those races. I mean, it's not like changes everything like The Witcher 2, but it's a nice change to feel that you're really immersed in the story. The combat system is okay, it's fun at times, though it's probably better on PC with the isometric view on it and all. And if there's one flaw with it, it's the user interface. It's really bad for the consoles. It's perfectly fine for a PC, but it's really iffy at consoles. And dungeon design wise, it's not bad, just not very memorable, except for a few parts of the game. And it's not the best looking game as well. It's pretty mediocre in the visual wise. So yeah, but overall it's a great game that I would recommend players to get. Though if you would ask me, do I recommend Dragon Age 2? Ha! No! No! Just no! Seriously, that game is a huge disappointment. A mediocre game at best in my honest opinion. Dragon Age Origins? Get it. Dragon Age 2? Avoid it. Yeah, you're probably wondering why I put 3 and 2 together. It's because I don't know which one I like more, to be honest. I kept contemplating on this, I kept thinking on it, but I seriously can't make up my mind which one I like better. But I'll say what the candidates are first, by going through one in detail, then the other one, and then I say why it's hard for me to choose one. The first candidate is Demon Soul, or Demon Souls since there's two S's there. But I'm gonna say Demon Souls since it's less of a hassle for me. Demon Souls is an amazing game. My best friend gave this game to me as a gift for my birthday, and at first I couldn't really get into the game, but while I progressed more and more, I was pretty addicted to it. And there's one element why many of the gameplay elements are fantastic. Why the gameplay is great, why the customization is great, why everything meshes well together. It's because it's a game that's ultimately very fair to the player. Is it difficult? Yes, but if difficulty was the only thing that was going for it, then I probably wouldn't put it in my top 5 PS3 games I played. The combat system is very methodical, should I say. It's more about learning your enemy pattern and then using their pattern against them, because every enemy has the potential to, well, kill you, no matter how strong you are. And that feeling of vulnerability is what makes the combat so satisfying. It's because you're so vulnerable that overcoming these enemies that the game throw at you makes you feel like you're on top of the world. And the enemies do not feel cheap in any way, because for one, you can learn the patterns pretty easily by fighting them, and two, the enemies are not positioned in any way that they can take you at surprise if you really pay attention to your environments. And that's got to do with fantastic dungeon design. The enemy is positioned just right that you won't see them coming from a mile away, but if you really pay attention to your surroundings, you can overcome them pretty easily. And the atmosphere is fantastic, which really adds how epic the boss battles are. Really, the boss battle in Demon Souls is one of the best boss battles that this generation of RPGs got to offer. And if you were to ask me which boss battle in the entire game that I really fell for, and most people who played Demon Souls can probably guess just from hearing the theme song, it's Maiden Astrea, or however you pronounce her name. Sorry if I mispronounce it. It's because of all the bosses in this game, she's the one I synthesize with the most, and really do with her, well, backstory, and with the atmosphere as well as the song. And I can synthesize with Garl Vinland as well. And there's one thing I really like in a villain or antagonist, is that I can synthesize with them, so I can understand why they're doing what they're doing. And the game does a fantastic job with this particular boss battle, which what makes it so memorable to me. And the customization is fantastic, as there's each weapon got their own unique battle style that you can get used to or want to adopt to, and it makes it a very unique experience as you switch from weapon to weapon. And the leveling system is great as well, as it gives you freedom to how you want to build up your stats, which will determine how well your character will fare. But it also gives you incentive to be very efficient about it, since souls gets the amount of souls you need to upgrade increase each time you level up a stat. So yeah, great leveling system. And oh yeah, soul points. That's the experience / currency of the game, so you really have to be careful what you buy or when you want to level up. And I can't believe I forgot to mention this earlier when I was talking about the combat system, but I found that the way that the game handles the character death is very interesting, as when you die, you lose all your souls, but you have a chance to get those hard-earned souls back by going back to the area you died and basically going to the blood sign where you died, and then you get your souls back. This is great, as it gives incentive for players to learn from their mistakes and overcome the enemies in that area. And not only is great as well, it gives you that sense of tension, as any player can invade you, or you can call up allies to help you through the game. So overall, a fantastic game. Though if there were a few things I didn't like about it, is that I have to say, world tendencies. I really found world tendency to be a bit annoying. That, and I found the Dragon God boss battle to be kinda disappointing, to be honest. but overall still a fantastic game. Well, you heard one candidate, now for the next one. The next one is...
A man speaks with his back!
Tales of Grace's F. You're probably confused why it's so hard to pick between Tales of Grace's F and Demon Souls, but I will explain that in due time. Now, for the reason why Tales of Grace's F is in my top 5 PS3 games video. And it's because the gameplay is fantastic, the combat system is fantastic, it's very engaging and fast paced, and the CC system is also great. It's a nice change of pace from Team Support and TP system, and I really like the CC system and how it gives you a good amount of freedom with how you can use any of your B arts in any combination rather than using chaining from base art to arcane art. And I really like how the B and A arts are very unique from each other in that A arts are your physical attribute attacks and B arts your magical attribute attacks, which really give you incentive to use each A and B arts because there are some enemies that are weak to physical attribute attacks, so you would use their AR on them, and some enemies that are weak against magical attribute attacks, which you would use your B arts on. And A arts and B arts really give spellcasters a bit more useful in my opinion, as they not only can attack using spells now, they can also attack using physical attribute attacks such as Pascal's using her gun or Cherry using her knives. And I do like that ARs give you at least some variety in how you chain your ARs together. I mean, it's a bit restrictive how you only can use 1 CC AR to another 2 CC AR to a 3 CC AR to a 4 CC AR. But I also like the variety in that you can chain any 1 CC AR to any 2 CC AR to any 3 CC AR and 4 CC AR. And there's 4 ARs in each 1 CC AR, 2 CC AR, 3 CC AR, and 4 CC AR list. So that's a good amount of variety that you can chain within the AR skill tree. Also add in sidestepping, monster weaknesses, and how certain titles can chain your A and BRs together, and along with Awesome Mode that's introduced in Future and Legacy Arc. And also add how each of these characters you play through in the game got each of their own unique play style. It makes the combat system a blast, and personally it's probably my favorite combat system in the entire Tales series. Well, in terms of 3D Tale games, and it's also probably one of my favorite combat systems in a console style RPG this gen. And ultimately the combat system is easy to pick up, but it also rewards people for understanding the mechanics behind it. And the character progression via the title system is fantastic. I really like how it gives you the freedom how you want to, which direction you want to build your character in a bit, like which art you want to focus on or which stats you want to focus on. But at the same time, it keeps the uniqueness of each character, which is a great thing in party-based RPGs. Because each party member in a party-based RPG really needs to be unique from each other, since it gives you incentive to actually use the character in battle. So overall, fantastic character progression. The title system gives you a good amount of freedom how you want to build up your character, with which art you want to learn, which art you want to alter so you can chain B or A arts, which stats you want to upgrade. And it also keeps each character being very unique from each other, which is a fantastic thing to do on party-based RPG. And I really like how equipping certain titles will actually change the victory quotes of certain characters. It really adds to how I really like the characters in this game. And the utilizing system is pretty good, which is the item crafting system. And I find that Elphics are a great mechanic to add to the gameplay, as it makes cooking more significant in this game compared to other Tales games, as in those games you can only use it after battle, but in this game you can set certain food items to activate during battle, which can really help you in certain situations. And not only that, Elmixer can also duplicate any item in the game if you fulfill certain situations, so yeah. So combine all these gameplay mechanics together, and Tales of Grace Up is a blast to play through. And I love the character interaction in Tales of Grace Up, whether they're being cutscenes, skits, or victory quotes. And there's one thing I have to say: the main antagonist, the real antagonist, the one you fight at the end of the main arc, he's probably my favorite antagonist in the entire Tales series. And it's really because I can sympathize with what he's doing, more so than the other main antagonists in the other Tales games. So overall, a fantastic RPG that I had a blast playing through. Though if there was something I didn't like about the game, it would have to be the Lastarria shaft in the F arc. All the other dungeons I found okay or really liked, like for the main final dungeon and the main arc, God, whatever you pronounce that name, I really liked that it felt a final dungeon. Lastarria shaft did have that final dungeon feel to it. Was kind of really time consuming with the elevators, and with all the elf crystal was really annoying in the second level as well. But I have to say that the Lastarria shaft is the only real thing that annoyed me when I was playing through Tales of Grace's F. And oh yeah, one more thing, I forgot to mention this previously when I was talking about the combat system and in my review. Tales of Grace's F got local multiplayer, and if you have friends to play Tales of Grace's F with you, it will be a blast. And now, the reason why I can't choose one over the other. You know what's the similarity between them? Do you? Do you really? The answer is no, there is no answer. It's a trick question. There is nothing similar about these games. They are total opposites of each other. One on one spectrum, one on the other spectrum. No matter how you slice it, no matter how much you analyze their gameplay mechanics, they are totally different from each other. One's a party-based RPG, one's a single-player RPG. One has local multiplayer, one has online multiplayer. These games are as opposite as you can get. And even the characters I sympathize with the most in their respective games, which is Maiden Astraea and Garo Vinland in Demon's Souls, and Lambda in Tales of Grace's F, I sympathize with them with totally different reasons. And the reason they are so opposite of each other is the reason why I can't choose one over the other. One of them represents what I love about console style / Japanese RPGs. The other represents what I love about PC / Western style RPGs. And I love both subgenres equally. The only subgenre I probably liked above those two genres are strategy RPGs. So yeah, those are the main reasons why I can't really pick one over the other. Is it a bit of a cop-out that I say I can't really like one over the other? Maybe. But I spent quite a bit of time thinking about it, and I couldn't really bring myself to like one over the other.
Combat zone. Confirmed. All targets destroyed.
Come in.
Excuse me, ma'am. Galleon Militia enlistee Welkin Gunther, reporting for duty.
Ma'am, Galleon Militia enlistee Alicia Melchiot, also reporting for duty.
I'm Captain Eleanor Varrot, commander of this regiment. Gunther, you're promoted to lieutenant. You'll be leader of Squad 7 now.
Ma'am!
Enlistee Melchiot, you're promoted to sergeant. You'll be under the lieutenant's command. Understood?
Ma'am!
At number 1 is Valkyria Chronicles. Not really even much of a surprise to the people who've watched my top 10 favorite video games of all time video, is it? But still, Valkyria Chronicles is my favorite game on the PS3. And not only that, it's also my favorite game of this generation period. I just love everything about this game. The story I found great. It's been done before, as I said in my top 10 favorite games of all time video, but it's very well presented. And I found the main cast of characters great as well, like Alicia, Woken, Largo, Rosie, Captain Vera, Isara. I found them all great, and I really like Woken's protagonist, as his personality don't go to one extreme like other protagonists. It really makes him feel like he's a normal everyday guy, which really adds that he's in the militia, And the main cast of characters also get a good amount of development throughout the game, and you also can learn their backstory if you buy special reports. So overall, great cast of characters. And also, the side characters are great as well, as they're very unique from each other. In terms of their character models, their potentials, just how each character got their own unique voice. Each of these things make each of the side characters so unique from each other, which really adds to it, as they're not going to get seen in the main story. So making each of these characters very unique from each other is a plus in my books. And I love the world and setting of Valkyria Chronicles. It's set in a alternative World War I, World War II setting, so it really feels familiar to us. But it also got its own unique stuff with its own unique lore. And the presentation is fantastic. Great looking graphics, one of the best on the PS3 in my opinion, using cel-shaded graphics. Fantastic soundtrack, and the voice acting is great. And in my honest opinion, I think the English dub is on par with the Japanese dub. Though you do have a Japanese dub setting if you want to hear the game in its original language. And the gameplay in Valkyria Chronicles is fantastic as well. The combat system is great, and I really like the blitz system. It's a mix of third-person shooter and strategy RPG elements, which makes it really fresh to me. And it was really engaging for me to go through the game using the blitz system. And there's a good amount of strategy in this as well. And each individual classes got their own strengths and weaknesses that you have to take advantage of in order to move on with the game, which is great. And the game really requires you to take note of your unit's movement range, as you could waste AP points moving one unit, and if you keep moving the same unit over and over again, they would get lesser AP points to actually move. So you really need to be careful with movement range. And the leveling system is great, as it levels up your entire class rather than individual units. So if you lose one unit, you don't really have to grind another unit for that unit to replace the fallen unit. And I also really like the potential system, as the potential system really gave each individual unit their own identity, as some potentials will greatly assist them and some potential might hinder them. So it was very wise to determine which unit you wanted to take along with you. And along with the potential system, there are also certain units that will work well with other units. So taking account into that factor could really make the game easier on you. And the game offers you a good amount of customization in the R&D department if you wanted to build your gun to deal more damage or deal status effects. And you could officially mix up what kind of weapon your units would use themselves. So a great amount of customization with the R&D department. And also add in good map variety, as each map you go through the game were pretty unique from each other. And Valkyria Chronicles is a great game to play through and very fun as well. Though I do have one complaint about the game, even though it's my favorite game of this generation, is that you have to wait for the enemy to make their turn, and you can wait quite a bit of time for them to actually finish their move. So yeah, that's my only complaint about this fantastic game. So yeah, that's my top 5 PS3 games. Well, it seems like this is another 30-minute video. I was seriously trying to aim for 15 minutes, but it seems that I get a bit sidetracked talking about games that I really enjoyed. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my video. This is Peter4790 Cyrus saying later.